Carl Jen and Maynard from Group 1 to formally introduce the purpose of this video presentation. This technique presentation contains the different sampling techniques such as probability and non-probability sampling, where under the probability sampling has 4 another different sampling techniques, while on non-probability, it has 4 sampling techniques. But first, let's talk about population sampling. Population is a whole group of people that is under a study or an investigation. But in research, population does not only refers to people. An example of population is a whole Malimar Development Academy, wherein all Malimarian students are under of a study or an investigation. Sample is a subset taken from a population by a random or non-probability sampling. The subset can be also called as representative. An example of sample is the grade 11 senior high school students of Malimar Development Academy Incorporated is the selected participants or respondents of our research or investigation.
There are 2 sampling techniques in selecting our respondent or participant. First is the probability sampling technique. Probability sampling technique is a statistical sampling technique in which every member or individual of a population has an equal chance to be selected as participant. An example of probability sampling is all the grade 11 home economics students were given a chance to be selected as participant on our research. Non-probability sampling is a sampling technique which not all members of the population have a chance of being selected as a participant. This sampling technique is not randomly selected. An example of a non-probability sampling is all leaders of grade 11 home economics in bread and waste production is being selected to be a participant.
Or another techniques in selecting a participants under the probability sampling technique. The simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, systematic random sampling, and the cluster sampling.
Since then, population and sample are defined, so as well probability and non-probability sampling, we'll be now proceeding to the first type of probability sampling, which is the simple random sampling. It is basically a sampling technique where each individual or item in a population has an equal chance of being selected. It ensures that the sample is unbiased and representative of the whole population. There are some methods where simple random sampling is applied, like for example in a bingo or a lottery, even in fishbowl method, and a computer random sample generator. Example is the customer satisfaction survey conducted in a supermarket. A supermarket wants to measure the customer satisfaction, and it is expected that 5,000 customers visited in the past month, and the management wants to survey 200 of them. Now, how simple random sampling is applied? First, we will be defining the population, which is 5,000 customers who visited in the last month. Second, we will be assigning the numbers where each customer is assigned a unique number from 1 to 5,000. Thirdly, we will be selecting randomly using a random number generator. Example is an online tool or a computer random sample generator in a website. And then 200 customers will be picked. Lastly, fourth, survey the sample. The selected 200 customers are going to be contacted for feedback.
So let's proceed. Stratified random sampling. In a stratified sample, it divides a population into homogeneous subpopulation called strata, or the plural of strata, and it is based on specific characteristics such as gender, race, identity, location, and etc. Every member of the population studied should be in exactly one stratum. Each stratum is then sampled using another probability sampling method, such as cluster sampling or simple random sampling, allowing researchers to estimate statistical measures for each subpopulation. Example, if there are 10,000 customers, the company may choose 100 of those customers as a random sample. It can then apply what it finds from those 100 customers to the rest of its base. Using stratified random sampling, those 100 customers will be divided into strata based on their age, income, or other characteristics.
So let's have another example in stratified sampling method with formula. So we have low income sample equals to 4,000 people, middle income sample equals to 4,500 people, high income sample equals to 1,500 people, total population size equals 10,000, total sample size equals to 100. So here's the formula. So stratum over n, which is population, times n, which is number of sample. So let's identify the given in low income sample. So the stratum in low income sample equals to 4,000, and the population is equals to 10,000, and the number of sample is 100. So the first step we need to do is 4,000 divided by 10,000, which is 4. Then times to 100, which is 40. So next is middle income sample. So the first step is, of course, we need to identify the given, like what we did in low income sample, which is the stratum is 4,500 over n, 10,000 times number of sample, which is 100. So 4,500 divided by 10,000 is equal to 4.5 times to 100, which is 45. So next is high income sample. So the stratum in high income sample is 1,500 over 10,000, which is the population, times 100, which is the number of sample. So 1,500 divided by 10,000 is equal to 0.15. Then times to 100 is equal to 15.
Cluster sampling is a probability sampling technique often used to study large populations, particularly those over a wide geographic area. The simplest form of cluster sampling is single-stage cluster sampling, which involves 4 important steps. Step 1. Define the population. Identify the population you want to study. In this example, the population is all 7th grade students in the city. Second, group the population. Group the populations according to existing units such as schools. In this example, 7th grade students are grouped according to the schools they attend. Third, randomly select the groups. Randomly select the groups to be used as the sample. This is done to ensure that the sample is representative of the population. 4. Collect data from the sample. Collect data from all units in the selected groups. For example, test the reading level of all 7th grade students in the schools selected for the sample. Sample planning example. To plan a sample, you need to determine the following. First, the estimated size of the entire population of 7th grade students. Second, the desired confidence interval and confidence level. The best estimated of the standard deviation of the reading levels of 7th grade students. Then, use a sample size calculator to estimate the required sample size.
Factors are selected in multiple stages, rather than all at once. It first involves select large groups and then progressively sampling small subgroups within them. Only selected individuals from cluster are selected as participants. Example, studying students' performance a country. Steps needs to consider in using multi-stage cluster sampling. Step 1. A researcher wants to study students' performance across the country. Instead of sampling individual students, they randomly select regions or states within the country. Step 2. From the selected regions or states, they randomly select schools districts. Step 3. Within the chosen school districts, they randomly select school. And Step 4. Within the selected schools, they randomly select students to participate.
Systematic sampling is a statistical method used to select a sample from a larger population systematically and randomly. It is a widespread technique for researchers and analysts who want to gather data from a large population without surveying every individual. Systematic sampling is a probability sampling method where the researcher chooses elements from a target population by selecting a random starting point and selecting sample members after a fixed sample interval. In school, while selecting the team captains of sports team, most of our coaches ask us to call out numbers such as 1 to 5, and the students with a random number decided by the coach. For instance, 3 would be called out as the team captains. It is a non-stressful selection process for both of the coaches and the players. There's an equal opportunity for every member of a population to be selected using this sampling bias technique.
And that's all for the probability sampling technique. And now, let's talk about the non-probability sampling technique. Under the non-probability sampling are convenience sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling, and voluntary sampling. These sampling techniques are more favorable to the researchers.
Convenience sampling is the most common form of non-probabilistic sampling, mostly because it is misused. Convenience sampling is a method of collecting samples by taking samples that are conveniently located around a location or internet service. It is a technique wherein the selecting respondents in which the member of the population do not have equal chance of being selected as samples. It is also known as accidentally sampling or opportunity sampling. It involves selecting samples based on convenience. It also based on availability of members and their proximity to the researcher. Examples of convenience sampling. 1. Online and social media surveys. By asking people to complete survey online or throughout social media. Number 2. Surveying people in public. By asking people in a mall, on a street, or the other crowded places.
So now, let's proceed volunteer sampling. Volunteer sampling is a method of selecting people research where participants choose join their own. Researchers do not randomly pick people, instead they wait for volunteers. This method is a common in surveys, experiments, and studies where people willingly take a part. For example, it's an online survey about social media use. Only those interested in the topic may choose their answer, which can affect the accuracy of the result. Volunteer sampling is useful when researchers need participants quickly, but they must be careful about bias in the result.
Sampling is a non-probability sampling method where new units are recruited by other units to form part of the sample. Snowball sampling can be a useful way to conduct research about people with specific traits who might otherwise be difficult to identify. For example, in teenage pregnancy, there is one respondent and then he is the only respondent in the place you went to. He is the right respondent who has experience, and the respondent in the village will help you to find another respondent, and he will refer you to people he knows who have also experienced the same thing until you have more respondents.
Proceed now to quota sampling. Quota sampling is a non-probability sampling method. This means that the participant chosen in a population is non-random selected. This is called quota because you first need to divide the population into subgroup, which is called strata, and then recruit this sample unit until you reach your quota. The subgroup involves selecting participants that matches the characteristic of population being studied. For example, the researchers survey have a quota of 100 students. This means that it must contain 50 male students and 50 female students. You can keep recruiting until you reach your quota size that would be represented by the collected subgroups. The main difference is that in stratified sampling, you draw a sample from each subgroup which is probability sampling. While in quota sampling, you select a predetermined number of proportion of units in a non-random manner.
And that's all for the non-probability sampling technique.
Sample random sampling is a statistical method where each member of a population has an equal and independent chance of being selected for the sample. Stratified random sampling, where the population is divided into distinct subgroups called strata based on shared characteristics. Cluster sampling, the population is divided into clusters and a random sampling is done on the selected cluster. Systematic sampling is a sampling technique in which members of the population are listed and samples are selected in intervals called sample intervals. For example, every fifth person on the list. Alien sampling. Sampling methods where samples are selected based on ease of access or convenience rather than using a random or systematic process. Quota sampling. Member of population selected based on characteristics. For example, age, gender. To maintain a centered portion, snowball sampling is used when it's difficult to find specific groups of people or subject of research. Voluntary sampling occurs when people voluntarily offer to participate in study.
The idea behind importance sampling is that a certain values of the input random variables in a simulation have more impact on the parameter being estimated than others. If this important, values are emphasized by sampling more frequently, then our estimate or variance can be reduced. Define your research goals if you aim to get a general sense of a larger group. Simple group or stratified sampling could be your best bet for focused insight of or studying unique communities. Snowball or purposive sampling might be more suitable. Assess the nature of your population. The nature of the group you're studying can guide your method. For a diverse group with different categories, stratified sampling can ensure all segments are covered. If they are widely spread geographically, cluster sampling becomes useful. If they are arranged in a certain sequence or order, systematic sampling might be effective. Encouraging further learner sampling methods is a continuous process. I need you to keep studying and researching further to increase your knowledge. Can you learn more from books, journal, articles, and internet access?